Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Isaac's vlog. And he was on fire this week. This was his 90% training max week, and he pretty much, I think, hit 7 reps or more on everything. All right, these are supposed to be 3+ rep sets. Again, he's on fire. So we need to raise his training maxes big time at the end of this training cycle. Now keep in mind, he's still adapting to these higher volumes and he is responding really well. Now he is in a calorie surplus and bulking. And again, as I pointed out to people, they're like, why do you have this guy only training 3 days a week? Why does he do a squat, a press, and a pull day? And, and they're like, is he natty? It's like, yeah, he's natty. And I would link his social media below. He's working on growing his own coaching business. So you guys can kind of check out what he is doing. But he comes from a much lower volume background, right? He did sometimes only lifted 2 days a week, right? Everything pretty low reps other than just doing some pump work for arms and delts and stuff and band work and things like that. He just worked real hard on low reps with low sets on big barbell movements and then would do, again, a little bit of fluff work at the end. Comes from a low volume background, and accordingly, now this done really well for his upper body, but it's left his legs lagging. But as you guys can see, in a very short period of time, we just hit 335 for 8 reps on the back squat. You guys will see at the end, he pulled 385, I believe, for 10 or 11 reps on the deadlift. We need to raise those training maxes. And because, again, his upper body is a little bit ahead, we only have a single real upper body day. Like, we have a full day just for pressing. All his pressing is done in 1 day in triceps. But on his pull day, we treat it as a pull day. So it's almost, push, but really it's legs, push, pull, which is actually having a squat day, then a deadlift, or a bench day, and then a deadlift day is a very common elite powerlifter protocol, by the way, 3 days a week. And it's something I've pointed out to people in videos I made quite some time back. They got uploaded recently. That video is a couple months old. That it's more common than you realize. Hey, a lot of guys train like that. If I wasn't trying to push the overhead press so hard myself, I would consider even doing that. Just for me personally. I've thought about running a 5-3 on variant that way, like I have him doing. I need the extra upper body volume. But, his training is very simple here. What are you seeing? We're seeing squatting. We see glute ham raises on his leg day. But keep in mind, this is a lot of volume for him. So people are like, well, it's 3 sets of ramping squats and a 5x10 and, then glute ham raises. But for him, that is very high volume. And it is high volume. It's 8 sets of squats, 5 sets for hamstrings. Keep in mind, hamstrings and quads do get worked on deadlifts later in the week. So it really is a double leg day. And some people look at that and think that's not a lot of volume, but it actually really is. It really is. And it begs the question of how much volume do drug-free lifters really need? And none of this is to failure. We don't do anything to failure. He came in and benched, and I believe that was something like 260 or something. Let me check the notes real quick. Training max 275, that was 90% of 275. Cranked out 8 reps, all paused, right? 8 reps, all paused. Let me run the math while I'm vlogging right here, just so that I know. What was that? So 247 and a half, 250, whatever, for 8 reps. Overhead press, he knocked out 9 reps off his training max today. Again, at 90% training max. We need to raise that up. Now, keep in mind, these are training maxes, so that we should be hitting higher than those pluses. We should be hitting higher. But, again, very strong presser. And he built all that pressing strength off just heavy bench and heavy overhead press with fluff pump work with bands and stuff at the end. Okay, context. So we come back over to that point of really how much real volume does a lot of upper body muscles need? Less than you think. Lower body really needs more than upper to a certain extent. Right? Because he's a strong dude. But his pressing day is a lot of volume because we do those 3 sets of the bench, we do 3 sets of the press, and then we do 5 by 10 of each. Right? So really, when you start doing the math, it's 16 total sets of pressing in one day. Now, that's a lot. We're up here in bodybuilder volumes, even though it's split between chest and shoulders. And then we do 5 sets for triceps. And again, we pick a nice, solid, full range of motion tricep exercise. Now, why don't I give stuff like this to all my people? Because he has a long history of doing band press downs. He's built his tendons up. He can get away with movements like this. Right, and in his case, he's, again, what does he do? Powerlifter aesthetics is what he's calling it. So making sure that we hit some of these muscles, just the show muscles, just a hair, with just enough work, helps him kind of get that look. Now, keep in mind, he's bulking. He has been shredded. We've got pictures of him, down at like 7% body fat. If you really want to see him, he's got them. You can see him on his social media. So he can get shredded. But if he does cut down again, how much more jack is he going to look? All right. His deadlifts, he was on fire. I believe we got, again, 385 for 11 on the best set. All right, here it is up here. 385 for 11. All right, we're getting respectable now. I bet you if I test his deadlift now, he's going to be past 500. All right, people should be able to plug that math in. But we're not going to test his max. We're not going to do that. We're going to wait till he can rep 500 for work sets. Not even bother to test his max. All right? I might test his max when I know he can do 6 plates a side. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen. The same thing, we come back over how much volume are we doing. Again, is that people don't understand how much hypertrophy you get out of these submaximal 5x10s after doing these peak sets. You can grow and they don't beat you up. You can grow without getting destroyed from the volume on these big movements with sets that are not near failure, to where you have reps still in the tank all the way to the end, if you've done the heavier work first to attenuate the upper threshold motor units. And right up here coming up, you'll see him doing a little bit of bicep measurement. He actually wanted to see his biceps are up to 17 inches. All right, and I believe that might be a cold measurement. All right. And granted, he's not shredded right now. But for Natty Dude, that's doing pretty good. Again, traps are looking good. And again, we don't need a lot of extra lat work for now. I will add more lat work for him as we build work capacity. But we just did all those deadlifts. People forget deadlifts are still a lat builder. They're a full back builder. All right, we do these pull-ups off the back end of them. 5 sets of pull-ups. This is enough. Your back would grow from this. It will grow from it because we're past 10 sets for lats a week here. Past 10 sets. And then he finishes up with some barbell curls, right? Finishes up with barbell curls. It's very, very simple training here. It's very simple training. Simple, effective. His workouts, he does 3 workouts a week. These workouts probably take him less than an hour. Very time efficient. And yet here he is, an advanced lifter. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.